What's up, everybody? My own Boon Talk. Hey, baby. Can you hear me okay? What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're at on this crazy planet. Hey, Ben. If you hear okay? Okay, great. Sorry, I'm just testing out this new streaming software. I got tired of paying money for StreamYard, and it was crappy service. There were some cool things about it, though. Admittedly, I like the comment part that they have, where I could pin a comment. Here they just kind of roll up, and you have to live chat and all that stuff. So that is one feature I definitely like. But yeah, unfortunately, they want to charge you like 20 or 30 bucks. I can't even remember how much it is. It's like I ain't gonna mess with that. But yeah, so a little different chat than probably the other Philippines vlogger. But this chat, I have noticed that or this live stream software, a lot of like streamers use, like gamers or whatever, they use this type of chat because it's free, right? It's a little more technical, like you have to go through and kind of configure it a little bit, but anyways, that's what we're up to today. It is 7 in the morning here. It is March 2nd, and it is 76 degrees. It has been rainy. It's been basa, as they say here. Right, babe? Yeah, so it's been rainy, it's been wet. There's been lots of new bike stuff. Lots of new bike stuff. Matter of fact, let me test a couple of other things. Let me test a couple of other things here real quick. Yeah, so that's looking good. You can see that map, right, babe? Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. I think what I want to do is, yeah, let's see here. Yeah, let me just get this set up a little bit. Let's go ahead and max that out. And then what I'll do is I'll just jump in between. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, sorry guys, 1 second here. I'm just kind of tweaking things up a little bit. Make sure everything fits in the screen nice. Yeah, that should work. All right. Yeah. That should work. I need to set up the hotkeys too a little bit. So, but yeah, man. So anyways, just been doing a lot of, it's been forever since I've done a live stream. I can't remember the last one I've done. Maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month. Been a while. And yeah, I don't know how much I talked about the new bike on the last live stream, but I did pick up, for those of you who don't know, I picked up a KLX 230 Sherpa, man, and I am so stoked about that. Oh my gosh, it has been a learning experience. So I haven't really, most of my riding, guys, it's been kind of on road in the United States. So I had, my very first bike ever was a KLX, or I'm sorry, a Kawasaki Vulcan 650, right? Like a cruiser. And then my uh, second bike that I bought was 790 Duke. So one extreme from another, right? I went from a freaking cruiser to a full on freaking, you know, balls to the walls motorcycle with that Duke. And that Duke was so much fun though. Man, that Duke was fun. Great riding experience. And then I can't remember when I bought it. Whenever the Tanneray came out, I bought the Tanneray 700 and wanted to get in some off-road stuff. And just too much bike, too heavy, too top heavy for me. And I did a little bit of off-road riding, but I was just, man, I was like, this is too hard. I was too nervous. So pretty much gave up off-road riding. And right about that time, I'd gotten in an accident and I basically sold all my bikes. I wasn't going to ride anymore. And then I moved out here, and it's a two-wheel freaking country. I mean, what is it, 60 or even more percent of the vehicles here are registered or two-wheel vehicles. I mean, it's a complete 180 from North America, right? Most of the vehicles there are, cars and whatever, SUVs and all that. Most of the vehicles here are motorcycles. So just because of affordability, they're just practical. And so anyways, I get back out here and I start riding again. And different riding environment, completely different riding environment. You know, you've slower speeds, you know, off-road riding, small province roads, you know, completely different riding experience. So, and availability, you know, even, you know, trying to even get some of these bikes out here that we're used to in the West, you can't find it. Like my KTM 790 Duke, actually in Cebu, there was a shop that had that bike, but out here, you know, I think the biggest CC bike, actually, there's a V-Strom 650 down the street at this CF Moto shop. Some of the bigger cities, you get big bikes, but most of the bikes out here are scooters and stuff. So yeah, man, it's been an adventure. Been out here just over 3 years. Been riding a lot. Like I said, I picked up this KLX 230 Sherpa a little bit ago. The registration finally came in, fully registered. Got my tires on there. Those videos are coming. We'll talk a little bit about these Bridgestone Battle Axe AX41s that I got on there. Yeah, these tires right here, dude. It's not those tires. I don't even know where the hell they are, but yeah, AX41s, these guys. Dude, got these tires on here. Wow, they're so good. So good. Yep, really good tire. That's just chewing up the mud. The stock tire is actually kind of sketchy. Um, yeah, I didn't really didn't really like the stock tire too much. So yeah, so that's what's kind of what's been going on, guys. Really, that's what's been going on. So we can take a look at some of the comments here and kind of go through some stuff. Like I said, I won't be able to pin it, but I'll go through them and read through them. Robert, you've been in the Philippines 11 years and 4 months. All right. Yeah, nice, man. Where about in the where about Robert in the Philippines are you at? And so basically how this will work is your comments will show up for a little bit and then they kind of go away. They'll show up on that little gray bar, but you can also look at the if you're on a screen, you should be able to look at the live chat or replay and see where I'm at with all that stuff. So, and if you're in a podcast, you listen. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, so I've been in the Philippines. I think I answered that already. If not, I had moved here, what, December 2022? I'd moved to the Philippines. So just over 3 years, going on 4 years. I'd lived in Colorado before that and moved to Colorado in the late 90s. Was a IT professional for a large law firm, for pretty much one law firm, for, you know, whatever, close to 20 years. And then, you know, as I shared earlier, I was in a motorcycle accident where I sold all my bikes and stuff. But in that recovery of my accident, I spent 3 months at home in a wheelchair. And it was during that time I was like, you know, what am I doing? Right? What am I doing? And prior to that, I'd gotten a divorce, right? Sold my house and all that stuff. And I had started looking at like, what do I want to do next? You know, I'd been in Colorado for 20 years, been at the same firm for 20 years, and I was like, and I started looking. I was like, well, maybe I'll move, maybe I'll go somewhere else, right? And I started looking around the United States. I was like, there's nowhere I want to go. I've lived in Florida, I've lived all over, right? Ohio, California, Kentucky. You know, I've been all over the U.S. And you know, then I started. Was like, you know, maybe South America, maybe Central America. I started looking at Belize, Medellin, Bogota, uh, Panama, Nicaragua, Honduras, right? Look at a bunch of areas in South and Central America. And then I started looking at Southeast Asia. My original focus was Thailand. You know, I think as most Americans, was what we hear about is Thailand. We don't really hear much about the Philippines. For whatever reason. So yeah, I started looking at Thailand, Bangkok. And then once I started really looking, I found the Philippines and I'm like, English speaking, friendly people, not quite the infrastructure is Thailand, but friendly people. So yeah, that's kind of how that kind of all played out um, that's how it all played out with kind of getting here and what I've been up to and how long I've been here. You know, the kind of the quick run through of all that. Love it so far. I do. There's got some challenges, right? But you just have to remember, it was really interesting with the Super Bowl. I didn't really watch the game, but I saw part of the halftime show, and I'm like, and then I saw a lot of the reactions of the halftime show on both sides. Like I didn't even know about this whole alternative halftime show, and it's just like it just really put me down this rabbit hole of culture wars that are going on in the West, and that's really why I moved here too. It's like this can't be my life, you know. I just can't do it anymore. I can't deal with the hate. Can't deal with the hate culture. And it was just really interesting for me to kind of throw myself back in the Western culture for a little bit, and even from here, right, with YouTube and all the other crap. And that's what I remind myself of. Whenever like little nuancy crap bothers me here, like whatever, out of stock or, incompetence of skilled workers, sometimes things like that. I remind myself what the alternative is, and I'm just so happy to be out here, man. Just hop on my bike and go ride, just go chill. I'm retired. Oh, the hell, how old am I now? 55 now, but been here out for 3 years. So retired 52, and you know, I just digging it, man. I dig the chill lifestyle. I dig, my time's about what I want to do with it, right? Sometimes my day is I go to the grocery store. I just don't have a lot to do, which is sometimes great, sometimes a little bit boring. Go hop on the bike and go ride, right? That's kind of been one of my hobbies. And, I think a lot of us, struggle with retirement, and then resetting our identity, resetting what we're up to. And, you hear a lot of people talking about having a retirement plan, having a retirement strategy, and it is very key. You want to set up yourself with time and what you're up to. It's what's that thing about time? You'll find things to do with your time, and better to do something constructive. It's like moving into a brand new 3 or 4 bedroom house when you had maybe a studio apartment. You got crap all this room and shit. Next thing you know, a couple years down the road, that 3 or 4 bedroom house is full. Time's the same kind of deal, right? And we're so busy in North America and working and doing our deal, and then you retire, and next thing you know, you got your time's all filled up. And that is very much my experience. Is my time is filled up with stuff still. Like sometimes I feel really busy, and but I ain't working. I don't have a 9 to 5. So yeah. Anyways, it's been good. I've learned a lot. Learned live streams. If people got questions, they want to talk about whatever, you can only do so much in a comment section. You can't really deep dive into crap like you can here. So yeah, my intention of these live streams is answer questions about whatever, right? Whatever we got going on. I'm a pretty open book with a lot of stuff. So, whatever you got going on is that's what the for me, that's what the intention of these live streams are. Just kind of deep dive into stuff. Yeah, Dual May, good day to you, Chris, you and yours. Yeah, yeah, you as well. Good day to you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah. Robert says, first time in the live chat. Well, thanks, brother. A little bit different than probably what you're used to, potentially. If you've been on other YouTubers, like I said, they can pin the chats and stuff like that. With the software that I use, that isn't an option, but what you get is like those intros that are 4K or at least 720 or no 1080p versus StreamYard, which is crushing everything down. And I mean, you could pay for more premium features of StreamYard. I just wasn't interested, and I think it is. It's like $30 a month or so. So it's like, screw that. I could use that money in other avenues. But yeah, welcome, Robert. Hope all is good. Heath, what's up, man? Good morning from Southeast Tennessee. Finally, 70s there, huh? Good for you, brother. Good for you, man. Yeah, let's see what we got weather-wise. Let's see here. Weather. Yeah, let's just show up. All right, yeah. There's the weather. We got Butuan. We got 77 degrees and cloudy. And A little bit of rain. That's kind of been what I've noticing with the weather out here is we've got a little bit of afternoon showers. Man, February's been wet, man. February has been wet. We've had a lot of rain. A lot of rain. March though is summer, so it should start drying out. March, April, May. And yeah, this is where I used to live in Colorado. So 64 there. But man, they had some storms running through there. Fallen Pond. This is where we used to live in Leyte. Yeah, there's Cebu for you. Pretty much the same weather. Tampa, my boys down in Tampa, and yeah. So there you go, Cleveland, Ohio. Man, sorry, Dad. It looks a little bit cold out there. My brother's out in Vegas, so yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, good for you. Hope all is good there in Tennessee. Warming up a little bit. March, yeah, you'll probably get another cold snap or two, right, brother? Probably. Uh, let's see, dual May. Yeah, absolutely stunning on the drone footage, right? So that is out in what Padre Burgos. We had shot that when we went back to around Christmas. We went early December back from Mary Rose for Christmas, and we had shot that then. I really loved Padre Burgos. Yeah, I really love that area. Let's take a look here and I'll show you a little bit about where that's at. It's just right down here in southern Leyte. You know, really a lot of diving, right? All through this So Good Bay. Really big historical World War II stuff, you know, with the Battle of Leyte Gulf, biggest, whatever, largest naval battle in history, I believe. So there's a lot of sunken ships all throughout this area. So there's a lot of dive stuff, a lot of cool reef stuff. But yeah, Padre Burgos, man, that was, I want to go back there. Really enjoyed being out there. Yeah, we stayed at this little, I think it was JD. Yeah, that might have been where we stayed. Little beach resort out there. Yeah, yeah, matter of fact, I got pretty much that shot. And yeah, gorgeous, really cool place right on the water. Absolutely loved it. Yeah. So that's where that was shot. That drone footage, that intro footage. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, I dig it. Let's see here. Uh, Nocturne. Hi, you're new here. Yeah, well, welcome. Welcome, Nocturne. Yeah, sorry about, like I said, a little bit of the chat. Might be a little bit different. But there we are. There we go. There you have it. Venture C, what type of drone do you use? I don't think I have it around. Um, Might be behind me there. I have the DJI, the new DJI Mini 5 Pro. It's nice. Really good drone, man. That thing is great. It's one of the things I don't like about currently where I live, like my immediate neighborhood, is I can't fly it. I'm too close to the airport. But I, just hop on the bike and go a little bit, which I need to because I need to keep practicing with it. It's a new drone and I'm not really used to it. So, yeah, really big fan of that DJI Mini 5 Pro. Incredible. It's phenomenal. Admittedly, it was one of the weak points in my gear before because I had the 3 before. And the 3 is okay. The 3 is okay. But the DJI, I can put out full 4K videos now because the limitation on the 3 was 1080p. So yeah, man, really stoked about that drone. We've done some really fun stuff with it with the follow me feature, and yeah, it's good quality, man. Really good quality. Yeah. Let's see, Nocturne. I subscribed to you a while back. I really see you though. Yeah, yeah. No, thanks, man. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for, really everyone checking out the channel. It's, whatever. It's pretty casual. Very casual. What do we call it? The Philippines Yap. I try not to script too much, although I got a tire video coming out where I'm a little bit scripted. I don't know. I just try to be pretty casual and natural as much as I can. And, there's a lot of Philippines vloggers, there's just so many of us now. And admittedly, I came out late too. I came out shortly after the pandemic, but whatever, I try to be as real as possible. Sometimes probably too real, which can be a little bit boring. But you know, whatever, man. I'm just living life out here, and you know, trying to figure stuff out as I go. And you know, nobody has all the answers in life and what it is to be and that. And so, but yeah, no, thanks, man. I appreciate it, Nocturne. See, Robert, I lived out in the province area near Butuan City on Mindanao Island. Yeah, man. Yeah, beautiful. It was just in your area. We went through there and we went through your area back in October when we drove out for the Mascara Festival. So yeah, yeah, we stayed in Dapitan. Really liked Dapitan. Gorgeous, man. Gorgeous. Stayed out here. Traveled around this, did this little loop out in here too. Am I showing that right? Nope, I'm not. Hold on one second. Sorry. So there we go. Yeah, really liked Dapitan. Rode around this little loop. Gorgeous scene right through here. Really steep, mountainous roads, but beautiful scene, beautiful coastal road. I'd love to follow up this whole coast right through here too. Yeah, I want to explore that area. Really nice. I like it. I know right where you're at. Yeah, nice out there, man. Yep, beautiful. Yeah, so many incredible places for us to see out here. You know, another place I want to go to here, oops, relatively soon. Yeah, sorry, I'm moving stuff around here. Another place I want to go to here relatively soon is there we go. Is Camegan, right off of it's not very far from me. Yeah, I want to get out here. I haven't been out, I have not been out yet. I'm dying to get out there and check that out. Just a quick ferry over and then, you know, stay out freaking, but yeah, super stoked about getting out there. Want to get out to Dinagat, another set of islands here. I'll pull those up. Want to get out to Dinagat, another set of islands out here. Yeah. This area, look at the roads here, man. Look at that. I mean, as Mary Rose likes to say, it's like a chicken intestine. But yeah, super stoked, man. Lots of riding here to do, lots to see. And this is the time of year to do it, right? Well, so this is their summer, March, April, May. And it's the drier months. But when you have drier months, it can be hotter. So, you know, these past couple months have been pretty wet, but they've also been a lot cooler. So, but yeah, yeah, we're looking forward to getting out and doing some riding around. Let's see here. Yeah, yeah, nice, man. Joe, what's up, Joe? Good morning, Joe, biker dude. Greetings, all. What's up, brother? Thanks for being a Patreon member. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, I've got a Patreon page. Link is in a lot of my videos. Just look in the video description. There's a link out there. I do a video every Tuesday on Patreon, so I'll be doing a video tomorrow, Tuesday, Filipino time. It's just really much behind the scenes stuff. You know, talk about what's going on, what's been going on for the week. You know, you can answer questions if there is a particular video you want me to cover and things like that. I could do a lot more out there. This type of on YouTube, you have to watch what you post. You kind of stick to your niche and stuff like that. Whatever. But on Patreon, there's just a lot of freedom there. I could put whatever the heck I want to put out there. So consider joining Patreon. Like I said, it's free stuff. So yeah, there is a paid tier if you want to, you know, contribute to the channel, but you don't have to. So feel free to check that out. Thanks, Brother Joe, for being out there. Yes, Nocturne Greeting Joe. Yeah, you have a few bikes here, including me. Yeah, nice, man. Guess we have a few bikes. Yeah, man, freaking love riding. I do love riding. I really do. I'm glad I got back into it. You know, like after that accident, I thought I was done, you know. But you know, and when you get out here, you almost have to, you know, and here's the thing about kind of that dynamic. If you're moving out here and you don't have a motorcycle endorsement, I think I've talked about this a bunch of times now, but I think it's worth repeating. Go ahead and get your endorsement there in the United States. Take the exam, take the weekend course. You'll probably learn something. Get your endorsement. Then when you come over here, it just makes it super easy. You know, you can transfer your license over and you're done. So So even if you've never been on it, if you don't have your motorcycle endorsement, you're looking to come here, I would highly recommend, because, you know, in the United States, I think anything below whatever 150cc or whatever I think it is, you don't need a motorcycle endorsement. Here you do. If you're on two wheels, you need a motorcycle license. So I highly recommend getting that set up. Dome, 65 degrees here in Denver, Colorado. Wow. Yeah, from Denver, Colorado. Yeah, good for you. Is it really that warm? Dang. Beautiful. Yeah, of course, I lived in Denver for 20 years, man. Beautiful. Beautiful, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's nice out there. It's nice. Good for you, man. Good for you. Nice and warm. Rusty Nail asks if I have ever met Sick Grandpa. I have never met him. I did see him. I've seen him a couple times, right? So when I lived in Cebu, I saw him a couple times. I remember one time in particular, we were in, what the heck's the name of that bar up on the top floor of the Ayala? Crap, I can't remember the name of it. It's the big foreigner expat hangout where everyone goes. I did see him up there. He didn't say anything. I think he kind of avoids me. Of course, dude, at the time, you know, I was a brick shithouse back when I was in Cebu. I was working out every day. I was running and things like that. I'm back running now, but admittedly, I haven't been back in the gym in a while. But I'm kind of a built 50 plus year old dude. So, and I don't know if you've seen St. Grandpa. He's a bigger guy, right? He's whatever, 6 foot plus, maybe 6'1" or so. But he's, like most of us in our 50s, we're just not really in shape unless you work at it. Like why I moved there to the Philippines. But so anyways, I was there in that bar on top of Ayala Mall restaurant. We're having lunch. I don't drink alcohol anymore, but we're sitting there having lunch. And I was with a group of guys. And I was one of the smaller dudes in that table. Another dude, he was in his whatever 20s or 30s, big freaking dude. Yeah, I think he's roided out, but big dude nonetheless. So I was with some guys, and Sick Grandpa was over there, and Sick Grandpa bolted. It's kind of funny, man. But I don't have anything against him or really any other vlogger, man. I mean, I got a little bit, I think early on in my vlogging career, I had this little bit righteous stance about, vloggers and ruining crap and whatever. It's just like, dude, that's the kind of crap that I moved here to just kind of get away from. Admittedly, there's a lot of channels I don't watch anymore. I'm uninterested in, contributing to their whatever they got going on. I just don't watch. But occasionally, like you guys, you'll bring up talk about a channel or somebody's doing whatever, or and I'll go out and check out a video, but I don't really watch any other channels. And there's definitely channels I avoid and things like that, just because, like I said, I don't want to contribute financially, because when you watch a video, you're contributing financially to whatever it is they're up to. And some guys, I know what they're up to. It's like, I'm not going to be a part of that nastiness that they're doing. So anyways, but yeah, I don't really watch, but I know who he is. I've seen him around a couple of times, but when I did, he didn't really say anything, and I just laughed because he was gone, man. Like he was there for minutes. We walked in and sat down, and there's a table of us. There's probably 4 dudes, all of us built, and he was out of there within 10 minutes. So, but like I said, nothing, nothing. Like I said, I don't really have any hate or animosity or anything towards any other vloggers, and it's a job. I get it. It's a gig, and if you're trying to make money at this, man, you're selling your soul to the devil, in a lot of ways. I mean, you gotta, especially in this genre, you really have to. It's a fine line between, not all of them. Not, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of Philippines vloggers who don't go to poverty porn, who don't go to smut, who don't go to that. There are quite a few, but a lot of them go the other direction. So yeah. Anyways, I have never met him, but I've seen him around, and that's kind of the nice thing too. It was one of the reasons why I got out of Cebu. Not really him, but really just a lot of the foreigners that are there. You know, it's just it's 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 a different caliber of foreigner that's there as well as Filipino. You know, it's a different vibe out there, and I like I like being in the provinces. I absolutely love being in the provinces. I like the foreigners that are out here. It's a different, you know, you kind of think of that in the United States too, right? You got your city people and your country people and that kind of deal. Um, it's very similar out here. And for me and where I'm at and my age and kind of what I'm up to, I really like this slower lifestyle and these province foreigners, they're good people, man, and the people who got their stuff together. Look, it takes a lot to live out here. It takes a lot. You if you're into like chasing chicks and womanizing and that, you can't get away with that for very long out here. You can't get away with any type of disrespectful behavior for very long out here. It catches up with you. These smaller communities, people talk, people know, they know what's going on. You know, disturbing, weird behavior that you might have, you can get away with that in some of the bigger cities. That doesn't fly out here in the provinces. So you got good dudes out here, you got good people, and I like that. I like the caliber of foreigner that you meet out in these more rural areas. They get a lot. The sick grandpas and everyone else have a tendency to hang out in the bigger cities. Yeah, man. So, anyways, but let's see where we're at in the comments. Yeah, why are they sketchy? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll see if you haven't already. I don't know what we're talking about. I get a little bit, you know, like I said, I deep dive into stuff. But anyways, I haven't been in a gym since high school. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, no worries. We've been running a lot more, Mary Rose and I. We're back up to running again. We have to run today. We have it really, it's a great program. It's called Get Running. I'm gonna dig it. I'll show you on my phone real quick. Dig it, man. I've had this program now for a while. Yeah. It's called Get Running and it schedules it out for you. I like that. And then it breaks it up. Like if you look, you start off, here's the start, right? Like super easy. You run for 1 minute and then you walk for a minute and a half. That's the beginning of it. And by the end of the program, you're running for like 30 minutes. So yeah, we started this program January 19th and we will be done with it on the 25th. And by the end of it, we'll be running for 30 minutes without stopping. So, you know, like you won't be running your 6 minute miles, right? But, you know, you'll be running 30 minutes without stopping. So really a big fan of that program. It's called Get Running. And like I said, we have to run today. We'll go out and we have two 10-minute runs. And then we're pretty much built, we're like running nonstop. We'll be 20, 25 minutes, that kind of deal. So yeah, man. But yeah, I like health and fitness and all that stuff. I'm a little bit wired that way where I want to be working out and active. It just kind of helps my head and helps me chill out a little bit. But yeah, I hear you, Heath. Nocturne, I'm 6'3". I'm skinny though. Yeah. You look like you're built. Yeah, dude, I'm 5'10", almost 5'10", like 5'9" and whatever. Like pretty much just 5'10". And I'm 220 pounds. So admittedly, I like to be more down like 210 or so. But yeah, I'm a little bit stocky. You know, I've been in gyms and my whole life I've been working out and exercising. That's, you know, I'll go in waves and stuff like that. Big, you know, creatine is, you know, daily part of my diet still. Big fan of but yeah, I'm a gym guy. I like it. I like it. Dave, what's up, brother? Where are you at, man? Where are you at? Oh, you're living now in Boston? Dude, you're back in the US. Wow. Wow, that's gotta be a little bit rough, huh? Hmm. Good for you though. I hope all is good out there, man. Hope all you're good. Nocturne, amen. Same here. There's so many channels I don't watch anymore. You know, it's just a little bit different when you're living out here. I still watch. let's see, what do I watch as far as YouTube vloggers? I caught a video from Paul the other day, and Paul and Mike were sitting there talking about some stuff. Occasionally there'll be a video that pops up. But yeah, just what I call like Jerry Springer stuff, I just don't watch any of that crap, man. I don't. For one, I don't want to support it. I don't want to contribute to their cause, but I don't really watch. Captain Tucker, I watch one of his videos every now and then. Good dude. He actually just came out. He reached out to me email, so I need to reply back to him. But yeah, no, there's some good guys out here, man. There are. But I'm trying to think as far as Philippines vlogger, I don't really watch. There's one of the guys, CB Media. I don't know if you guys ever seen him. I watched this guy before he even moved out here. I can't remember his name. I think his name's Chad from CB Media. Just a really quirky dude also. He just started up a channel where he's going to be riding all over the country, riding all over the world. That guy's been vlogging for, I don't even know, 20 years. He's been running a YouTube channel, right? But so anyways, I watched a little bit of him. He just did a Mindora video. So yeah, what else do I watch? I watch a lot of just random crap on YouTube too. Like construction stuff. I'll watch a lot like motorcycle stuff, tire reviews and things like that as I'm researching tires. I use YouTube as a way to kind of research and learn crap. So, like the Jerry Springer stuff, I don't really watch much of. No matter if it's Philippines genre or even like United States drama, I just try to stay away from that. But I do watch it. I have the YouTube Premium out here, and dude, it's so cheap. It's only a couple bucks for YouTube Premium. And I use it for music. I got rid of my whatever Spotify, and I just use YouTube Premium. Really a big fan of that. It's handy. But yeah, I don't really watch too much. Yeah, occasionally I'll catch a video for Geo to see kind of where he's at and what he's doing. He's all over the place now. But yeah, I don't really watch much of anybody else. Yeah. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Record-breaking weather here in Denver. Wow, it has not been the normal cold weather, and I'll take it. Yeah, good for you, man. Yeah, brother. I lived in Denver for whatever 20 plus years, moved in late 90s, and then left in 2022. And first lived in Boulder, and then had a house in Aurora, out in Broomfield, Longmont. Yeah, I've been all over there, man. Love it. Beautiful, beautiful. That was part of like, I felt like when I was looking at moving, I was like, Colorado is where it's at. It's freaking gorgeous out here. So anyway, and then I've been through a lot. I lived through a lot of United States, like I said, Kentucky, Ohio, Florida. Been all around. So, but yeah, warm in Denver, and I was riding my motorcycle year round in Colorado. You get like you're saying, you got spikes of good weather throughout the year. Matter of fact, my accident was, I think, Martin Luther King Day. So was that January, mid-January? Yeah, man, nice and warm in Denver. I'm listening. I think you're honest. Well, I'm full of crap like everybody, man. I just have my particular view, and whether or not that aligns with you, it's all right. Uh, yeah. I wonder what this does. Oh no, I think that does. Okay, anyway, I'm just looking here. But yeah, man. I don't know. That's the whole thing about all of this stuff that I'm talking about, right? Other vloggers and all that. It's subjective. It's completely subjective. It's our personal views. It's our opinions. Is our salt and vinegar potato chips good kind of conversation, right? It doesn't make them right. It doesn't make me right. It doesn't make them bad and wrong. It doesn't make me bad and wrong. It's preference. It's what we like. It's what we're up to. Some people will like that. Some people won't. Whatever, teach their own. There's a lot of stuff that I just don't want to support. Yeah, and like Joe is just putting up the bad wolves. That's, guys, that is one of my biggest things about me and what I'm up to is, yes, please, baby, is, and Mary Rose and I have talked about this a ton, man, about feeding that good wolf. It's just, you gotta, I mean, we all have that capability, right? The story of two wolves. And, if you're not familiar with it, I'm going to hack it up and paraphrase the crap out of it. But inside of each of us is this good person. Thank you, baby. And a bad person. And, you know, the story of that where the Cherokee or whatever, the Indian, the elder is sitting with a young guy, and he goes on to tell the story, and, son, there's two wolves inside of us, the good wolf and the bad wolf, and they're constant war against each other. And, the little boy asks Grandpa, well, which wolf wins? And the grandpa replies back, whichever one you feed. And I truly believe that. Like, in each of us, there's this ability to be good and bad. And, whoever we are is the one we feed. And that is so key in our lives, gentlemen and ladies, if there's any here, is to just feed that good wolf, feed that good person inside of us, positivity and, exercise and supplements and whatever, sleep and whatever it is that makes you happy and healthy, just generating that for ourselves. So anyways, that is a big part of who I am. Whether that's honest or not, I don't know. Right. But, trying to be a positive, good human, or trying to be, and it's not so much about other people. It's about living my life in a happy way. Right. And yeah, I like to help people and make a difference when I can, and, bring some positivity and cheer either in my videos or in person, right? Chatting with people. And, it's one of the things I like about being here is we're looked at and respected at. People were like, hey, how are you? Good morning. And they got a big smile. They're happy to see us. And, it's just that breeds the positivity and, the friendly right back, versus, guys that are here trying to take advantage of crap. What is that? You get what you give here in this culture. So anyways, man, went off and on. Robert says, riding a motorbike in the Philippines is a challenge. It is, man. It is. It ain't easy. It's very different riding out here. Very different riding, Robert. Amen, brother. Very true. And that's why I made this mistake too. You come over here from North America or United States with that riding mindset of, I want to get a leader bike. I want to get, whatever. I can't ride 100. I can't ride a scooter. Are you kidding me? I had the same thoughts and feelings. It's very different riding over here. And, anyone who's been riding more than whatever, a year or 6 months, you understand how specialized motorcycles are. I say this a bunch of times too. Bikes are a lot like shoes. You wouldn't want to wear a pair of cowboy boots to run a 5K race, right? Motorcycles are the same way. And we come over here in our cowboy boots, and we quickly realize that, wait, cowboy boot is not the right shoe for the Philippines. It's just not. And smaller bikes, more flickable, lighter weight, bikes that don't really need to go above 50 miles an hour. Now, there are places and regions in the Philippines where you would want a bigger bike. You've got interstates, but those regions around Manila are pretty small. The rest of the country, freaking anything above 500 cc's is just not practical. My favorite bike out of all the 3 bikes that I have out there is still that dang Honda ADV 160. By far my favorite bike. It is just, it's what we take every day. We go to the grocery store, we're taking the ADV. Yesterday we went cruising around, we're taking the ADV. 2 people are comfortable on there. It's like a damn station wagon. We can put our groceries in there. It's just super, super good, man. I love that little bike. But yeah, man, but the riding out here, you got people. One of the things that got me by surprise about the riding out here that I think is worth noting is how people merge. Look, when they come onto the road, they often don't look. It's a mentality of whoever gets there first. So, and look, you want to give up the right, wrong, good, bad about that, right? You want to give that up because that's not how, it's just how it is. So when they ride, when they come up to an intersection, if they're there first, they're going to go. And if you hit them, you're at fault. So you really want to be mindful of that. And then, so if you're on a main street and they're coming out, they might not look to you. They're just going to come out. So you want to be really mindful. And it shocked me at first. And then, here's a scenario that so you got a 4-lane road, right? So you're traveling on 2 lanes. You got a car or another bike that comes onto this lane, and you come over to the other lane, right? Shit, they'll come all the way out, all the way across both lanes. You think they would merge into the 1 lane. They don't. Not all the time, but that's a scenario that really shocked me, and moving slow, so if you're kind of booking along, whatever, 20, 30 miles an hour in that road, you get over a little bit thinking you're out of the way and they're going to merge into that first lane. Man, they might come all the way damn cross. So just be mindful of that. Know that it's different riding out here. You got dogs, you got freaking cats, and you got kids, so the speeds are a lot slower, and that's the other reason why I like that little damn ADV. Those freaking brakes on there are sharp, man. Really sharp. Probably the best brakes I've had on a bike. Really, really good, man. You can get on those brakes and stop like that. Super good. So, yeah, anyways. Yeah, good point, Robert. Dual May, I agree with Chris. I want to be around good energy citizens. Yep. Love being around the people. And that's why I moved to the Philippines, guys. It really is. I was done with the hate culture of the West. I was just done with it, man. Just absolutely done with it. I wanted to be around a positive environment, and a positive people, just focusing on positivity and just the chaos and crazy of the West in my life. I was done with it, man. I was absolutely just done with it. And it was interesting. Like I talked earlier about the Super Bowl and being kind of back around that. And, it's just, man, it was just wild, man. It's really wild. But yeah, brother, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Jeff, what's up, man? What's up? Jason checks. Hey, wait a minute. Is the free range Carefree Chris Farm back online? Yeah, baby. At some point. At some point. Really just kind of looking over these next couple of years. It's been interesting, man. With New Year's, tax season and all that crap, right? So I went and got my taxes done. Well, I did them online. I just used TurboTax. But it was interesting to see, 1, my spending, and then 2, kind of my, financial years down the road. So spending a lot more. I think I spent close to 50 grand last year. And that was a lot more. That's over budget for me. So I gotta shrink. And here, how I've kind of worked budgets for me over the past is I've kind of look at yearly stuff or monthly stuff and just try to do that, kind of watch my overall spending. So, but yeah, man, things are looking good. Things are looking bad and good at the same time. Like once I get to 60, things are doing really well there. But getting to 60, 59 and a half, a little more of a challenge. But there's plans and strategies and backups. But anyways, man, yeah, good for you, brother. Yeah, but point being is, once I get to 60, there might be a chicken farm in the works. Oh no, what's up, brother? Yeah, you got a bit of a cold out there. Sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Let's see, Nocturne, Aurora, Idaho Springs, Colorado Springs is such a beautiful place. Yeah, man, I like the Springs. So the law firm that I worked for had an office in the Springs, so I'd go down to Colorado Springs, whatever, once every 2 weeks, once a week sometimes. Yeah, no, nice. Monument Pass there was a notorious sketchy part of the road. Freaking get snow and ice. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I know the area well. Joe, you nailed it. I have no time for bad wolves, man. Yeah, migrating towards energy and frequency with intention. Amen, brother. I'm 10 years older, so solitude, tranquility are key to my peace. You know what's interesting about that, Joe? As I've become more more isolated, more solitude, and more into just my own space. And that is what I love about being out here, brother. I can hop on the bike. I can just ride out in some of these areas along these roads and listen to the birds and look at the scene and just, I love it, man. There's so many times where it's just me, just out cruising around, I just dig that, I just do. And it's such, living in Colorado for 20 years. I spent some time in Florida, right? And then, whatever, Ohio and all that. It's such a different feel out here. Like when you visually compared to what we have in North America, you get out here and you got these palm trees, you got these rice terraces, you got these mountains and then you couple that with like simple, friendly people. Joe, it's just paradise in that way. It truly is paradise, and it's just easy on your soul. It's easy on your head. I just remember, I think that video I just put out, I can't remember. I'm a little bit ahead in videos now, which is nice. Sorry, I got a little bit of frog in my throat. But I was out riding and I came across this guy. I was just along this canal. I came across this guy out fishing, whatever, he's fishing poles, and he's got the biggest smile. And the guy's missing like 5 teeth, right? But he's got the biggest smile, and he's like, "Hello," and here I am, brother, riding through these little areas and rice fields around me, mountains and palms, and friendly people like that, and it's just, man, I just absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And I don't have this hate crap going on. I don't have, none of that crap. I have no idea in a lot. I didn't even know the Olympics were on until just like whatever, whatever recently. I had no idea. My world is super small, man. Super small, which I just dig, brother. So I'm with you, Joe. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Absolutely. Unico Baz message retracted. I don't see it. Nocturne. Yes, 100%. Every day I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah. Dual mate. My personal anger and high stress was an all-time low when I was in the Philippines around people. Isn't it true, brother? Yeah, man. I'm with you. Oh, shit. Sorry, the comments are a little bit hard for me to kind of keep up with, but yeah, it is. Here's the thing though, you want to watch out for, because I have to remind myself, right? I have to remind myself of, where I'm at, what am I doing? And, honestly, the Super Bowl and kind of going down, and it wasn't just that Super Bowl in the halftime. It was, and look, I have nothing against any of it. It just, it re-exposed me to the culture war that's going on, right? I look, my ex-wife is Hispanic Latino, and we dealt with, dude, we got married in an ICE immigration facility. So I have a unique perspective on a lot of that crap. So, but it opened me up to all of that hate, all of that just absolute hate that's going on. So I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yeah, very nice here. You can escape it. You can escape a lot of that drama. You can escape it. Dean, what's up, brother? What's up? Long time no see, man. Tin Whistle TV. How's it going, man? What you been up to, brother? Hmm. Yeah, hope you are well. Yeah, man. No, it's good. Good. Good out here, man. Good out in the country. Yeah, thanks for talking about, Nocturne says, thanks for talking about how people merge. Yeah, the riding's different out here and the road conditions are different. I would just say slow it down. The speeds are going to be slow. If you've seen my videos, if you haven't seen my riding videos, check it out. I mean, guys, I'm riding 20, 30 miles an hour, most of that. But yeah, man, super slow, super slow. Lone Star, brother, good for you, man. How's it going? How you been? I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, how you doing? Hope all is well. Yeah, life is too short. You don't get a second chance. Amen, brother. Right, Robert? Amen. Yeah. Yeah, Tennessee just got ranked sixth worst driving state. It's gorgeous there, though. I could see it. Like, look, if I had to go back to the United States, there's a couple parts of the country I'd like to be in. One, probably Florida, just because I can't afford to buy a whole new damn wardrobe. All my clothes would transfer over, you know. But the gorgeous Smoky Mountains, beautiful out there, really beautiful. Yeah, one of my good friends is from Louisiana and Arkansas. He lives a couple houses down. Shout out to you, brother, Fletch. And he's just a good guy. But from that area, and I lived in Kentucky for a while. My boy was born out there. I lived in one of my good friends, lifelong friends, Sean and Jessica, and all those guys. Excuse me, they're from out there. Actually, my good friend, buddy friend Sean, his brother, I think Dave, right? That's your name, right, brother? Anyways, he's got a place out here in Mindanao that I think he's about ready to retire to. Yeah, Tennessee, six worse. That's too bad, man. Well, stay safe for sure. It's crazy what you said, how people merge. Yeah, man, isn't it? Yeah, live life to your fullest. Yeah, absolutely. Ride slow, have good brakes. That's what I got. Yeah, so true. Yeah. Yep. No, that's right on, man. And that scooter, man, that ADV is got phenomenal brakes. Really good brakes. Really good. Uncle Boz. Yeah, to the chat. I met Chris last year. Dude, I wondered if we met. He's a real deal. Lovely guy. Very entertaining, positive. He's a solid 5'10" build. Yeah, man. Yeah, good for you, brother. Yeah, thanks, brother. Yeah, I hope you're well. Hope you're well. I want to move. Dean, you want to move out of the UK? I bet, man. I'm sick and tired of all the left here in the West. Dude, it's just so crazy. It's so crazy globally, right? Right now. That was one of the things too, honestly, gentlemen, when I looked at coming out here. And one of the things that happened was the pandemic. Sorry, my contacts bother me a little bit. Eyes are itchy. One thing that opened my eyes up during the pandemic was the whole toilet paper crisis. Now, I don't know if you guys had that in the UK, but in the United States, man, we couldn't even wipe our own ass. I mean, and imagine if the shit really hit the fan, so to speak. What are you gonna do? If you can't even wipe your own butt, what are you gonna do about food, water, and all that other stuff? So, here in the Philippines, a lot of that crap, it's all local. Like the stuff that we're eating here, all the fruits and veggies and meats and stuff, it's all right here. There's I don't, a lot of like, yeah, can I get my motorcycle tires if really hit the fan? No, probably not. But I can survive. I can get my food, I can get water, all that. It's all local economy. It's all driven locally. So that was another reason that's when I was watching this, I'm like, man, we can't even wipe our own butt. What if that comes down to food, man? What if it comes down to like eating? That supply chain broke for wiping our butt. And just think about bigger stuff, man. That was eye-opening to me. It really was. Now, hopefully we never, see that. And maybe I'm completely, going off the deep end here, but that was something that kind of bothered me a little bit. Yeah. Yep. We're the same age. I'll be 60 in 2 months. And I'm coming so close. Well, actually, I'm 55. I'll be 56 in November. So yeah. Yeah, and the goal is to get to 59 and a half. Well, the goal is to get beyond that, but yeah, financially, I got 59 and a half focusing. Anyways, yeah, but yeah, 55. Right, babe? I'm 55? She thought you can't hear, but I thought you're 30. Hey, babe, you want to come say hi for a minute? Are you eating? Yeah, yeah, no worries, babe. Mary Rose will come out in a minute. She's here. Let's see. Ooh, the drive, like I said, is wild, wild west. Yeah, huge buses and truck motorcycles. Mary Rose calls me sometimes a camote rider. That's what they call these guys who just kind of choo 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 choo. I can get that way sometimes. But Yeah, and camote is sweet potato. I don't know why they call him a sweet potato driver, but yeah. Anyway, sweet potatoes are really good out here, by the way. Super delicious. Richard, what's up, brother? How's it going, man? Congratulations on all your stuff. Yeah, good for you. Hope you're good out there. It's nice to see you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Robert, it's not how much money you have. Yeah, it's what you do with your money you have that counts. Absolutely. You know, Robert, along those lines, it's wild because here, yeah, it is. There is a status thing that's here. There really is, but it's more, you know, as a foreigner, we're not super exposed to it, right? And yeah, you can come out here and you don't need a lot of money, you know, or you can have a lot of money, and you're pretty. We're pretty much we're all the same at that point, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. No, that's a good point. Money isn't a status thing out here for a foreigner. There's a weird status dynamic out here, definitely. But as a foreigner, like I was saying, we're somewhat excluded from that. Um, but yeah, but you know, from foreigner to foreigner, you know, I've met guys with a crap ton of money and I've met guys with very little money, and you don't really know the difference, right? You do in some ways, but you know, most of us are about the same. It's really wild. No, you're absolutely right there. Yeah. Definitely into my own space here, living. Yeah, I'm 22. You know, as I look at that, brother, it's kind of what I want to create out here. I want to get a bunch of land. I do. I want to get a bunch of land out here. At least where I'm far enough away where if my neighbors are singing karaoke, I can't hear them. You know, and it's kind of what I'm doing over these next 4 or 5 years is figuring out where that is. But I do, you know, Jeff joked earlier about the Carefree chicken farm. I very much do want to set that up. I want an off the grid living. You know, it's very doable out here. This experiment with this house here has taught me a lot about water collection. You know, we've got a water tank here. We got whatever, 13. How big is that tank, baby? 1,300 liters? We got a 1,200 liter tank that we don't necessarily, we collect some rainwater, but not efficiently or effectively. We pretty much almost given up on, I use the rainwater collection to water plants and stuff. Anyways, um, yeah, off-grid living, and you can do it easily out here. Solar has come a long way with solar generators and all that crap, man. So yeah, yeah, that's kind of my goal too, Heath. I'm with you, brother. I want to get out. I want to get some land. I want to get a little farm, get some chickens, you know, maybe a goat. That was one of the videos I watched. Some homesteaders out in the United States talked about difficulty of different animals, different livestock. Goats are actually surprisingly very difficult to have anyway. Although you see them everywhere around here, but anyways, chickens, yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, try to get self-sufficient. Get my water, get my electricity, um, some fruits. Oh my gosh, I love the fruits out here. Fruits are amazing. Fruits are amazing. Yeah, but yeah, right on, Heath. Yeah, it sounds beautiful. Yeah, good for you, brother. Yeah. I'm dying the way you describe things. It puts such a big smile on my face. Yeah, good for you, man. Thanks. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. David, hi. Regardless of the visa differences, what was the deciding factor for you selecting the Philippines versus Thailand or neighboring countries? I'm contemplating Philippines or Thailand. Well, David, I think that's what we all do, right? We all look at Philippines versus Thailand. And here's the thing I would say about those two places, and maybe some things that you could look at in between there. If you require, you know, nice accommodations, like really top of the line, um, housing, maybe top of the line medical. Like if you're really attached to your North American living situation or high class Europe or whatever the hell you're at, right? If you're really required for high class type of living in general, Thailand would be a better fit. If that's like, because you want to look at all your priorities, right? Like what is it that really like you're after? Are you after happy, friendly people, or are you after like cheap living? Are you after, modern type of living? It really, those are the kind of things that are, is English speaking a big deal? Those are questions you want to start asking yourself. And then you'll start to get that decision, Thailand versus Philippines, will become clearer and clearer. Thailand is a better infrastructure. They got trains, they got planes, they got buses. You can go anywhere and everywhere. Philippines, it's very not modern in that way. So Philippines to me is it's very outdoorsy. You want to be a camper. Now, you can get high class modern living. It's just a little more needle in the haystack out here. You really have to sometimes dig to find that. Now, you can go to cities like BGC and Makati and like that, and you can get high class modern living out there, but you're in a city. So the Thailand versus Philippines is a question that we've all asked ourselves. And a lot of the guys that are out here for the people, they're out here for the nature, that deal, versus the guys that are in Thailand aren't really necessarily out for the people, they're out for the infrastructure. So that's what I would say is probably the big key differences. So if you're okay, being in a little more, outdoorsy type of environment, the Philippines is good. If you really want friendly, happy people, the Philippines is it, man. It really is. I don't really have a lot of experience. I've never been to Thailand. So, but what in this conversation has exposed me to is that the Thai people, while they're okay, and especially in the tourist areas, you're not really looked at with the highest regard. You're looked at as a Farang or a tourist or whatever the hell, right? Here you're actually looked at with high regard. So if respect is important to you, if a friendly culture is important to you, people, no matter if they're 2 or if they're 82, have a smile on their face when they greet you. Granted, if you're respectful, right? That's the Philippines. Yeah. And so it just depends on where. But that was kind of some of my thoughts and thinking anyways, as far as Philippines versus Thailand. And ultimately, David, you just want to come out and check it out. Either one. You just, or both. Come out and check it out. Come stay for a while. Come stay for a while in both. Come stay, spend 2, 3 months in the Philippines, 2, 3 months in Thailand. See what you like. Get yourself an Airbnb and just kind of dive in. If I was to start all over again, and if I wanted a more, Cebu is great. The business park is easy. Those are all great. They're super super easy. But maybe Davao would be a better option. The problem with Davao sometimes though is you need transportation because it's a big sprawling city. But I think Davao might give you a more less expat experience there. But anyways, yeah, it's a hard decision, and it just depends on what you're up to, what you like. But yeah, good question, David. Let's see here. Let me get back to my comments. Jeff, you missed. Oh, did I miss questions? I do. They're funny. He's talking about like something like I don't have kids or whatever. Or I've got 2 kids, or I can't remember some of the funny crap, or that I've been to Thailand and then I'm lying. I've never been to Thailand. Anyways, all right. I see the sick grandpa comment here. Uh, oh yeah, I did miss some stuff. Well, I missed yours. All right. Yeah, sorry guys. And I'll jump back down. Yeah, the scroll feature is kind of jacked up, right? I scroll and it just it will just automatically shoot down the bottom, so I apologize for that. And if I do miss your comments, let me know. Yeah, let me know. So I try to we get through everything. These live streams aren't super busy. There's usually whatever 20, 30 or people so at a time. It's so anyways, yeah, let me know and go back and look up. Let's see. What island or province do you want to go to next? Yeah, I think maybe talked a little bit about that. I want to definitely do Camiguin, Dinagat, and Butuan. Definitely. Camiguin, Dinagat, Butuan. Or that's why I moved here, is to explore those regions and those areas. After the grocery store run, jump on the bike and go golf. It's addicting. It's fun. Hanging out with the buddies. Yeah, it's feeding the good wolf. I don't Hey, babe, is there a golf course here? There is, isn't there? I think there might be a golf course here. Yeah, yeah, there is a golf course here. I've never really played. I played a little bit, dude. When I was back in the United States, I went to a Top Golf driving range. I was smacking the crap out of that ball. I hit the fence. Can't remember how far that was, but yeah, I was driving the crap out of that ball. I'm an athlete. But I've never really played golf before. It was fun though. I enjoyed it. My back was sore after that though, right? Like my shoulder blades. Oh, yeah. I did miss your comment though. Sorry, brother. Yeah, we got a little bit of a cold there, Hex. Yeah, or Heath. Hex. Yeah, I did miss Hex here. Hey, big buddy. Love the new scooter. Looks like a blast. Push the like button, people. Appreciate that, brother Hex. Sorry I missed your comment. Yeah, sorry about that. I did. Yeah. Yeah, that's why you subscribe. Pretty casual guy. The real nice golf course in Butuan City on West. Okay, yeah. That's what we were just talking about. Yeah, Jeff, I did miss all of these, did I? My bad, brother. Yeah. Um, I think we've seen it. Yeah, I appreciate the heads up, Jeff. Oh, you're right. I missed a bunch of these. Um, with all your riding experiences, you should have a good route plan for motorcycle tours. Hex, that's been some of the plan. Like when I, one of the things that was there for me is whatever, is a recent retired guy, and I don't know, right? Like there was this whole thing about what I want to do next out here. Do I want to start up a business? What do I want to do with all my time? And there were moments and times where I'm like, I should set up a motorcycle tour company. And it's still there in my head, right? Like there's a lot more chill and relax now. But there is that in my head, Hex, as I'm traveling around. It's like, I'm documenting these trips, where to go and where to stay. A lot of these, like when we did that Samar loop, well, I guess it was almost a year ago now. Um, that was very much there. Like I've got a whole like route and everything that people could do, places to stay, the whole deal. And it is there for me. Like I mark stuff on my map and things like that. But yeah, one of the things that too I've realized is I enjoy riding, man. I really do, and I love it. And part of that for me though is just kind of the riding. Yes, is about the bike, but it's also about the journey, the scenery, and all that. I really like riding slow and taking it all in and checking out the scenery and stopping and sometimes when you're riding with other people, that can be a little bit hard, right? Sometimes it's about the bike and the ride, right? And that's different than about the scenery. So, anyways, yeah, but yeah, you're right, man. That's been a little bit there. The motorcycle tours, good question, good part, Hex. Yeah, Nocturne. That's why I'm asking you. The last time I saw you so long ago, when to come there. Life in the Philippines is what you make it, whatever floats your boat. Amen, brother. Life anywhere, right? Yeah, so true. Why would you not have a car there? Rick, you could have a car here. You can. There are cars here. I enjoy motorcycling. I enjoy riding. I really do. Eventually, will I have a car? Yeah, probably, especially when I get to a phase where maybe it's not safe for me to ride anymore. Thankfully, knock on wood, I'm still very able and capable to manage a motorcycle. But yeah, at some point, I'd want a car. The problems a little bit with a car is, you know, especially if you're in deep provinces, you're going to want to know how to fix it and work on it yourself. And if you're in a city, like I wouldn't, it really just depends on where you're at. Like in Cebu City, crap, you don't even need a motorcycle. You know, you can get by on Grab and taxis and move it and, you know, Angus or whatever the freaking back ride is. You don't even need transportation. And I wouldn't recommend riding a bike in Cebu City. Just freaking go around on Grab and taxis and motor taxis, right? So it just really depends on where you're at, as if a car would be a practical choice or not. You got freaking parking in Cebu City that you got to deal with, right? Yeah, I think transportation in general in Cebu City, you don't need it. It's a pain in the butt, unless you want to get out of the city. But anyways, uh, but yeah, out here, yeah, I could do a car out here for sure. Car would be nice. But I'd want a smaller car, just like kind of like the bikes, right? I'd want a smaller car, something with a suspension for potholes and stuff like that. Yeah, the little Suzuki Jimmy. Yeah, Mary Rose likes that little Suzuki Jimmy. That would be a good little car. Something small. Little Toyota RAV4. They call it something different out here. But a little Toyota RAV4 would be good. There's a Cool Ray bike. Yeah, you want to come? Oh yeah. Thanks, baby. Oh yeah, no. Ooh. Sure. I'll take a little warmer. Sure. Yeah, so yeah, you can get a car out here, brother. You can if you really want. Yeah. I just I like riding around, Rick, and on the motorcycle. But yeah, there's some cars out here. Let's see, can I pull up? Who makes that Cool Ray, babe? There's some different models out here. Huh? Yeah, it is Geely. Yeah, let's see if we can pull this up, guys. Yeah, there you go. This Geely PH. Yeah, I mean, this is a car that AI recommended for me to check out. Yeah, whatever. I love two wheels. I still love motorcycles. Just a small, yeah, small hatchback, small little SUV, something with a suspension. How much does this damn thing cost? I've been in some nice cars out here. Yeah, little different models out here. Let's see, 1.3. Let's see what that is. Yeah, new Cool Ray starting at, let's just say 1 million. I think that's what that is. 17,000? I think you guys can see that, right? Yeah. So 17,000 US, pretty cheap, eh? But yeah, you can get some cars. There's people have cars out here. Most part, people there are a lot more two wheels, but people do have cars for sure. Um, or there's a little, like, I think Paul Old Dog that's got a little car too that I wouldn't mind having. And they've got a turbo version of that too. I just saw on the road. But yeah, Nocturne. I'm selling my cruiser here in Chicago, but out there, I think it's necessary to have one. You'd want a smaller bike, Nocturne. Typically, you just want, something small. I like my little dual sport, but admittedly, it's probably not the most, like, the little ADV is really good, man. And they've recently announced the ADV 350 out here, which is also good. Yeah, they're a little bit harder to find, but a lot of it too, Nocturne, is it just depends on if you work on your own bikes or not is another big factor people just don't realize, man. If you're going to wrench on your own bikes, yeah, there's a lot of bikes you can get. But if you don't want to wrench, like if you don't have tools, you're bringing tools, slowly but surely I'm getting my freaking toolkit here. But if you have no intention to work on bikes, you're pretty much stuck to a scooter. Again, depending on where you live. If you live in some of the bigger cities, you've got shops and things like that. But like out here where I'm at, there's really no big bike shops, So yeah, it just depends on what you want. Check out the 20 on the Goldwing. Sorry, I was just catching up here. Jeff. Yeah, Kamigan, huh? Known as the island born of fire and death. Yeah, okay, maybe I added death to the fire at the volcano. Yeah, dude, I want to get out to Kamigan. I'm dying to get out to Kamigan. Yeah. Yeah, I want to get out there. It looks beautiful, right? Yeah, let's pull it up. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, it's not very far. Oh, thanks, baby. I appreciate that. Yeah, Kamigan. There's Tanagat. Tanagat looks really good too. But Kamigan is not far at all. Yeah, let's see if we can pull up a satellite. Sometimes satellite's good to look at too. Where the hell is satellite at? Oh, there it is. Yeah, some freaking volcanoes here. Yeah, man. Can't wait to get out to Kamigan. I suspect actually we might be out there sooner versus later. Just because it is summer. We're looking at where we want to go. Another place that is probably really soon here is out here in Butuan. What's that? Balai Cowboy Ranch. Yeah, this communal ranch. Get out here. Yeah, guys, look at that. Look at that. Come on, man. Look at that. Yeah, I want to get out there. Are you guys seeing this? Yeah, good. I want to get out there and check that out. Yeah. So that might be on my like coming up here soon. Maybe Cowboy Ranch. Yeah, Butuan, Kamigan, all those places. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, you love driving a car in the Philippines? Yeah, just never felt safe. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're fine with that. You can do that. Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with driving a car out here. I would personally though recommend getting something smaller and then, being out of the cities, but that's me. That's my personal preference, right? Yeah. I did skip a bunch of comments though, Jeff. Thanks for pointing me out there. Yeah. All right. Now we caught back up. I will scroll back down. Sorry about that. Nice catch, Jeff. Let me just get down where I'm at. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. Go back down to WP Tonic. Hi, Chris. It's great to see you online. Do you miss seeing your daughter or brothers or sisters you might have? Yeah, of course. I'm still pretty close to my daughter. We still chat, and my son too. My son just messaged me. I have a son in Florida, and my daughter is in Colorado. My son messaged me just the other day. They're looking to how they put an offer on a house down in Florida. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. My daughter's, figuring life out. She's, 19 and living life. So yeah, no, it's hard, right? But that was when I looked to move out here though, and I looked at all of those relationships, my son, my daughter, my parents, my family in Cleveland area, my brother, and that whole deal, right? I looked at all of those relationships, and every single one of them was pretty much digital. I had very little interaction with people, like family. Most of my life was just work. Everyone's doing their own life, right? Everyone's busy. So when I looked at, and we're just coming off the pandemic, so that was part of it. We hadn't, whatever, December 2022, things had just opened up here, not in August when I came out here, things had just opened up. So all my relationships were digital. I was like, I can maintain this relationship anywhere in the world. I can. So that's what's going on, and that's what's happening now. Is it different? Yeah. But my daughter will text me, and I'll text her back and send her pictures and that whole deal. My son too, send me videos, and I'll send them stuff. So, it's just admittedly it is a little bit different, but it's fine. It's fine. It's in a lot of ways it's no different, like I was saying, because of kind of how we had stuff set up. But yeah, no, we definitely, it's not as easy to see people. And I've been back since then. I went to my daughter's high school graduation. So, yeah, yeah, but it was hard. It was hard for sure. Yeah, great question though. Joe, the old man missing only 5 teeth, yeah, has got it made. Yeah. I lost more than in one bike crash. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, good for you, brother. Glad you're okay, though, man. Glad you're okay. Yeah, the toilet paper crisis, you're not caring about that it took years to come back. Are you not caring about that it took years to come back? Yeah, man. That 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 opened my eyes up too. Oh my gosh. And speaking of which, you guys gotta get a bidet if you don't have one, man. That'll solve that toilet paper crisis like that. Yeah, man. That opened my eyes up to being like, holy crap. I mean, we can't even wipe our own butt, man. What happens if something really hits the fan, right? Like whatever, food, you know, poultry, chicken, beef, what if we can't get like, yeah. So I wanted a culture or an environment that was self-sustaining. The Philippines is for the most part. Like I said, everything's local. We get eggs and wherever, right around, right? Yeah. Kind of not carrying the speech to text. What speech to text are we talking about? Yeah, not sure about that. DJ Jones, first time here. I should get a nice off-road automatic, or should I go right to the clutch license? Should I get a nice off-road automatic, or should I go right to a clutch? If you're talking about Dr. Jones, if you're talking about motorcycles, if you just get your motorcycle endorsement there in the United States, you'll be covered for both. If you're new to riding, I would get I would just get the Honda ADV 160 is what I would get. Now, if you're going to be living in the Manila area, it's a little bit different dynamic there where they have interstates. But if you're not living in the Manila area, the ADV 160 is your best bet throughout the rest of the country. But if you're talking about a car, I think a lot of the cars are manual transmission out here, actually. I was just kind of noticing that. There are a lot of manual transmission cars out here versus US where most everything is automatic, right? But yeah, if you're getting a motorcycle or bike, I would just get your endorsement there in the US. And then when you come out here, if you're not used to riding, just pick up that little ADV 160 and you'll be good. Yeah. Nocturne, 59 and a half, my bad. I thought you were less for being being younger. Yeah, no, I'm 55 still. I came out here at 52. I sold the farm. I didn't have a farm, but I sold everything. Well, I sold everything a couple years before. Well, I sold my house a couple years before because we're going through a divorce and I needed money to kind of pay that off. So at the time, I was actually just living in an apartment. And then but I was able to I got an estate sale, forklift everything out of my place, sold my car and all that with that. And then basically, was already had kind of a house sale that I'd sold with cash. But yeah. DP Global, hey Chris, how's it going? See you next month. All right, man. Yeah, you coming out? Yeah, let me know. And if you're coming out to Butuan, meet up. I've met up several folks out here, right? Yeah, come on out. It's a pretty quiet expat community out here, but there's a couple here and there. Hello, Chris. I'm working on my transitioning now to retire in the Philippines. I'm so excited to leave Southern California. Can expats purchase land? So you can't buy land, but there's tricks and ways around that. You can set up corporations potentially. It just depends. There's a bunch of ways around that. What you want to do in this thing here, for this typical event and is you want to hire an attorney. You're definitely going to need legal help. So you're going to want to get an attorney to kind of write all this up. What a lot of guys do is they'll have their like wife or girlfriend or whatever. They'll buy the land, they'll put the land in their name, and then they'll lease it from that wife or girlfriend. Or if you got a kid, like I know a lot of guys who have done that, they'll put the land in the Filipino kid's name. So there's strategies around that you can do that, but no, you can't own land as a foreigner, but you can buy the land, put it in your Filipinos. Obviously, you're going to really want to trust this person. And then you can lease it from them for 50, 100 years or whatever, 50 years, 25 years, whatever, but that's the strategy that that people do. So you can work around it. Yeah. You were just here in December? Yeah, nice. Oh shit. Yeah, nice. Sorry, I messed up my scroll here. Yeah, there we go. Karaoke is so loud you hear it for miles and miles. I know, right? I need to get enough land where I don't hear that karaoke. I believe you must be indigenous to the Philippines. You must be born there in order to purchase land, right? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Gail. You can't own land out here, but there's tricks. There's ways you can be around it, right? And that's very much part of this culture is figuring workarounds. Truth about Thailand, but you can have those things here too. Yes, very much. Thailand, Philippines, it's all a question we all go through. It just depends on what you're after. Yeah. David, thanks, Chris. Appreciate your input. Happiest humans on earth. That's right, man. I said you got to feed that good wolf. If you feed the bad one, guess what? You have a bad wolf. If you feed the good one, you get happy and healthy. Yeah. Anyways, what was that video or that movie? Life is Beautiful about the guy who creates this whole happiness deal in a concentration camp. Pretty wild, eh? Oh no, as you said already, Philippines, you get what you give, man. That is so true. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if this is also true in Thailand. No, it's a good point. Good point, Odo. You know, here at least, you know, and everyone talks about it, right? The friendly people, the Filipinos, the friendly Filipinos, and the Thai people, while they're not necessarily unfriendly, the Filipinos, it's not only friendly, they're interested, right? They're interested. They have this curiosity about us, Westerners or foreigners. They want to learn and know, and they're also shy, and they're just interested in us. And there's a level of respect that's also there for us that we just kind of naturally inherit and show up, and it's there. And yeah, yeah. And granted, some people can take advantage of that, and it catches up to them, right? Um, as far as that kind of curious, friendly way that they have. But yeah, no, in Thailand, it's I think you're looked more as maybe a commodity or maybe a resource, right? Than you are as a curiosity kind of object, And look, not that either way is right. Just depends on what you're after and what you're looking for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good point, Odo. My first time here, and I just subscribed. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. May I ask where you are located? I am in Butuan City, which let's pull up the map. I am in Butuan City, and I like that terrain. So I'm right there at the blue dot, Butuan City, and this is the Philippines. So I'm in this larger southern island called Mindanao, and I spent a couple years in Cebu City, and I spent a year in Leyte here in Palampon. That's where I met Mary Rose, and that's where she's from. And I've traveled a lot around Negros. I've been a little bit in Panay and Iloilo. Yeah, I've traveled a lot in Negros. I've traveled a lot of Cebu. I've traveled a little bit of Bohol, but I want to get back. I've traveled a lot of this northern coast of Mindanao. Did that whole trip, northern coast up to Bacolod for the Mascara Festival. I rode down this east coast here with my buddy Jim down to all the way actually down to General Santos. Rode this whole coast down all the way down through there. I'm showing this, right? Oh, I'm not showing this, my bad. There we go. Freaking, I'm an old man. All right. So yeah, I kind of traveled this whole coast here, a lot of Negros, a lot of Cebu, but yeah, this is where I'm at in Butuan City. Sorry about that. My bad. Yeah. And then, like I said, spent some time in Leyte over in this area. So not bad. I spent a little bit of time. Oh, we did the Samar Loop a year ago, right? Mary Rose and I both. I spent a little bit of time up, and a lot of these guys are up here in Manila. Richard and Odo, those guys are up in Manila area. So I've not been out to Palawan yet, El Nido, Coron. I've not been out there yet. So looking forward to it. So I've traveled a lot. Still a lot more to go, though, man. Still a lot more to go in in the Philippines. And I'll, like I was telling earlier, go out to Camigan, go out to Dinagat and Butuan. Those are some areas that I want to get out to.
Jeff, the way you said Bukidnon is like Bugita or whatever.
Boogie Town? Won't you take me to Boogie Town? Yeah, yeah. Nocturne. Just get my ass out of here. Yeah, yeah. You're over again. I'm glued to everything you say, so I know what to expect. Brother, just get over here and check it out. Yeah, if I pull the plug now, I'll get, yeah, 3,000 a month. Dude, you'll be fine. You can spend it though, brother. I've been spending it, but you'll be fine. Just keep an eye on your budget and stuff. And a lot of it too depends on where you're at. You'll be fine on 3K. You'll be good, but you can spend it here. You can. So just keep it simple, keep it chill, keep it easy. You know, um, if you can get out of some of these more expensive areas, you can get yourself in whatever Cebu City in the business park is stupid simple to start, man. It just really is. I stayed at the Selenia. They got freaking 5 damn towers there. I got hundreds of units. You can park your butt there. There's a mall right across the street. You can walk back and forth and feed yourself and get your whatever you need, right? And then you can get out of there. You can use that as a hub to go explore other regions and get yourself set up maybe somewhere else. It's a little more cost effective, but the Cebu Business Park is so simple. It is simple. There's just so many expats there. You can get yourself in a situation where you're sitting out in front of Bo's Coffee 6 days a week, you know, and the dating in Cebu, and especially in there, it's bad. You've got people there who are hunting you, and they're just looking for that you're the next foreigner. So you just gotta watch out, right? But yeah, get out here, man. Get out here, brother. You'll be fine. Just take it easy, though. Just take it easy and get it cheap. Like, dude, I'm living dirt cheap right now. You know, what am I rent? 200 bucks, 12,000 pesos for 3 bedroom, 2 bath house. Yeah, yeah. Good for you. Yeah, get on out, brother. Yep. All right. Facts, Chris. Do your research first. First, know what you want and where you were looking for. Yep. Channels like Chris are very helpful. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, I wouldn't trade where I'm at for all the money in the world. Yeah, Robert. Beautiful out there. You're near Dapitan. Is that right? If I remember correctly. Uh, the golf course. Yep, the golf course out by the Highlands. Yeah, there's a huge, beautiful one at West Highlands. Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, have to check it out. Maybe I'll go. Baby, do you want to try golfing? Huh? Maybe so, Jeff. Maybe we'll try that out, man. Yeah, you must be the Philippines to buy land. Yeah, Odo saying if you get naturalized, you'll be able to buy 1,000 square meters of residential land, but not agricultural. Okay, interesting, Odo. Yeah, thanks for that, brother. Appreciate that. I say if you get a car, get a Toyota. Yep, they're most known to the mechanics. Really great advice there, brother. And that's kind of what I was looking at as well. You don't necessarily want a Ford American made like Ford. For one, you're going to spend, it's super expensive, and then getting them worked on can be a little more of a challenge. You're absolutely right. Japanese is the way to go. Toyota. There's a Suzuki dealership nearby too, but I think you're right. I think Toyota is the number one brand. And they make like this little RAV4 kind of deal that I see a lot. Looks like a great little car. My buddy bought one. One of the first guys I met in Cebu and Selenia, he bought a little turbo, that little turbo Toyota SUV. Nice little car, man. Because same kind of thing. You want something that it's got some suspension, just like a bike. You want something that's got a little bit of suspension, but you also want something that's got some acceleration to kind of get around crap. Because you're gonna be overtaking and stuff like that. So having a little bit, something that can get out, little turbo, something a little sportier that can move and get away, something with good brakes, but also good suspension. Yeah. Dr. Jones, is the Rebel a good choice for a guy that can drive a manual? Yeah, a little Rebel. Obo's got the Rebel. Yeah, like you're seeing right below here, he's got the DCT version. So yeah, man, good bike. The big Rebel, the like the 1100 DCT. Yeah, dude. If you're in, so let's pull up the map. So if you're in where Odo's at, if you're in this Manila area and all this, I mean, yeah, brother, lots of great riding here. You've got interstates, and you really do. You've got some great riding. Whatever this, Tagaytay, gorgeous, right? Beautiful. My buddy Richard's been riding through there too. You've got interstates and stuff. Am I showing this? Shit, my bad, guys. Here we are. So, yeah. So in this region of the Philippines, let me zoom back out so I can show you. Right here's Manila. So in this region in the Philippines, you do have some roads that you could ride on the interstate. You've got beautiful roads, right? You've got interstates, things like that. That's where a bigger bike makes sense. If you're in those regions, if swing and miss, if you're out of that region though, honestly, the big leader bikes, really probably anything more than 500cc is too much bike. And the reason I say that is you just can't ride that fast. You can't, or would you really want to ride that fast? You've got, you think about it. If you're on a big freaking leader bike and you're going 60 miles an hour, that is the fastest maybe anything on that road has ever traveled. And you're setting yourself up for a bad day, as Cycle Cruiser likes to say, right? I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend a big bike. I wouldn't recommend anything that can go fast, and especially if you have no throttle control. Because, look, you're on these roads, you're booking down them. Dogs aren't used to anything going that fast. People aren't used to anything moving that fast. And you're not used to the merging and all of that. So could you get a big Honda Rebel 1100 DCT? Absolutely, you could. And there's specific regions where that would be a good fit. And there's other regions where you're going to be wearing cowboy boots running a 5K. It's just not the right bike for that environment, right? Now, you can get if you really like the Cruiser and if you really like the Rebel, you might want to jump that down to the 500. But there again, though, with those types of bikes, with anything other than a scooter, you want to have the ability to work on it yourself. You want to have the tools, the knowledge, and the ability to do it yourself. And maybe that's what you get into in your retirement out here. Maybe that's what you do. Like, you know what? I got nothing to do. I'm gonna learn how to wrench bikes, right? Maybe that's what you do. So, because I want to throw that out there, because that was something that really, that I was thinking, and I made that mistake. I was like, oh, I'll get this NX500, right? It's a Honda. I can take it anywhere and everywhere and get this work done. I'm the kind of guy that never really wrenched on his bikes. I just took it to the dealership every 3 months to get the oil change, to go through the bike, to kind of look it over. I took it there. And my thinking is I don't want to do anything stupid to the bike to hurt myself. Well, you get here in this country, you get some of these bikes, no one, and I've got one town, maybe two towns in this entire region of the Philippines, right? Let's zoom out and I show you what I'm talking about. So I've got 2 towns in this entire island, you know, massive, right? I've got Davao City and I've got CDO. Well, actually, maybe Tagum too. I got 3 towns that I can take my bike to get work done on it. And that is it. And you're talking, I got to ride 4 or 5 hours. Now that's something you really got to look at. So if you're a guy that doesn't want to wrench on their bike, you've never wrenched on your bike, you don't know what you're doing, you got to go with you got to go with a scooter. And you got to go with probably the Honda ADV 160 versus the 350 because not everyone works on the 350 yet either. You have a hard time finding those bikes, right? So it's just things to think about, things to consider as you're looking to move here and ride. Now, but look, that depends on where you're at. If you're in Cebu, if you're in Manila, if you're in Davao, you're in CDO, those are some bigger cities where you'll have options. But if you're in Butuan, you're in maybe any city in Leyte, you know, maybe Negros, you've got some options with maybe Bacolod, you might, but it just so things to think about, right? As you're looking at bikes and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, good stuff, go, good stuff. Robert, check the 2026 Honda Goldwing. There's a ride for you. Yeah, not a bike I would want out here for sure. But yeah, nice bike. Yeah, I don't know, right? 2 million pesos for that freaking luxury sofa. Oh man. Yeah. I see it and miss the Philippines more and more. Beautiful country, isn't it? Isn't it? The Goldwing is a hybrid of a car and a motorcycle. So true, Robert. That thing is a beast. It's like a freaking massive couch, massive leather couch riding down the street. It's a leather couch with an engine. Nice bike, man. Nice bike. Nothing wrong. Great bike for North America and touring around the country. Not a good bike for here. Yeah. Young, fresh global travel. What's up, brother? Bidet rules, isn't it? I mean, the bidet, you know, out of all the things that I've learned about this country, out of everything, the bidet is probably one of my most favorite things about this country that I have discovered. It is it is the bomb, man. I mean, we don't realize how gross we are as Americans. We just don't even realize it, man. We just don't even get it. You know, and then you get here and you discover the bidet, you discover the topo, and then you're like, you mean for my past 50 plus years, I've been grabbing paper and smearing poop on my body and calling myself clean? What ridiculousness was I thinking? Jeff knows what the hell I'm talking about. Brother, he was in Japan and remodeled his whole bathroom, you know, after his time in Japan. Oh, shit, man. Yeah, the bidet is the shit, man. The bidet is where it's at. It is, man. It's one of my all-time favorite things about what I've learned here in the Philippines. I'm with you, man. I'm with you there, brother. Oh shit. The only difference is you're totally enjoying your life. Yeah, man. No, it is. It's good times out here, man. It is. Man, I just jumped through all the comments. Hold on here. Sorry. This dang thing is a pain in the butt. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Uh, but yeah, I hear you on the family thing. I feel like everyone in the family has their own lives. Yeah, it is. It is very much how the culture is in North America. You hit 18, you're on your own, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you, brother. No one is really expected to gather around for Thanksgiving anymore, like the big. And I think, brother, I think that changed with the pandemic. I think with the pandemic, those family get-togethers and all that kind of went out the door. And there's a whole new way of living and being now, right? No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. And that's what I love about the Philippines culture. And one of the things that didn't reset here, it's all about family. It's all about getting together and visiting and that kind of deal. Yeah. Jeff, did he say Boogie Town when he was showing the map at Camigan? I think Mary Rose needed the side correct is Filipino. Oh man, young fresh traveler. My girl always ask, will my family miss me if I move to the Philippines? And I'll be honest and say I don't think so. Yeah, we're all spread out. Yeah, you're in Brooklyn. Yep, some live in California, not even close. It is very much the dynamic there. And it is something too that they can't necessarily relate to, right? They can't really I mean, sometimes you have the older sibling that goes off wherever to go find work. So there is a little bit of that dynamic. But for the most part, I mean, you'll have generational, families being together. You have grandmas and grandpas, everyone's within a couple hundred yards, right? And so the idea of, families where siblings are all over the freaking United States is something that they have a hard time completely understanding. James, hey dude, I got 100 miles on the bike, headed nowhere in particular. Good for you, man. Yes, good for you. Yeah. Richard's had the 450 NK, so he knows that bike well. Yeah, dude, good for you, man. Good for you, man. So getting back out on the bike riding, that's so cool. Yeah, nice. Mm. James and Karen Adventures. If you don't trust the woman, don't marry. Leasing can go wrong as well. Best scenarios for you is to marry a good family. They take care of your assets. Yeah, don't marry a bad family. Absolutely, brother. No, that's great advice. Yeah, no, good for you, brother. Hope all's good. Yep. Why is everyone so obsessed with trying to buy land? Yeah. For me, I have no problem with renting a nice condo in a subdivision somewhere. I just need a good water filter, Starlink, and a generator. It's a good point. And it's one of the things that had me land in this place, right? So I've got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. The owner, this is purely an investment property for him. I can stay here as long as I want. I'm spending whatever the hell, 12,000 pesos a month, couple of $100. That is hard to beat. And I'm treating it like my own place. I put in landscaping, I've got walls painted and crap, right? So we've got doors, we've got windows. It's a good thing to look at. And it might be something I shoot a video on, just kind of deep diving into this topic. Because once you buy land or build a house or whatever, you're planted there, man. Here at least I've got a cheap place. I can stay where I'm at. I can modify this place. I got ACs and stuff in here. So I kind of feel like I've hit something. It's the best of both worlds. I've got some freedom where I can pack up and move if I needed to or wanted to, but I've also got where I can, customize and have it my way, So I'm with you on that. The only thing though, I would say that is a little bit of a missing for me is I would like some space, right? I kind of like this idea of, having like Heath, or 20 or so acres in the middle of nowhere where I can build a nice kind of farm. I kind of do want that, right? And so there is a bit of, that's down the road for me where I'm really figuring out where, if I even do that, who knows? Maybe I'm like you and just say, you know what? This makes sense financially. I'm not investing 100,000 or 200,000 in a property that I regret or I like I risk losing, right? Out of scam, out of whatever, right? This is safe. This is a safe investment. This is a safe, way for me to live. So I kind of, I'm with you. I could see both sides of it. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Where are we at? Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're at, Joe. Now, this is old knowledge about value of being interested in being interesting. Huh? Huh? Oh, wow. Being interest, being interested instead of being interesting. Oh, wow. That's a nice way to put that, Joe. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What's up, Jane? How's it going? ¿Cómo está acá? DPG. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll email you. Maybe we can meet at Robinson's. Yeah, dude. Shoot me an email for sure. Let's grab a cup of coffee. Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. Yeah, shoot me a message. Thank you for addressing my comments about 3000. I have to get out of there as soon as I can. I thank you again. Yeah, no worries, brother. Yeah, no worries. No problem. Sorry, something just popped up here. Okay. Add chlorine to the water tank. All right. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, good, good. Hopefully it works out, Nocturne. Nocturne Feral guitarist. Yeah, cool, man. Baby, you want to try golfing? Silence. Yeah, she might want to try it. I wouldn't mind. Yeah, that's called a swing and a miss. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I golfed a little bit. I mean, my family was big into golf, Jeff. One of my uncles actually worked for Callaway. Uh, but yeah, my dad used to golf too a little bit. I didn't really golf much in the US just because it was kind of expensive. But it's not that I didn't want to. My grandmother was a golfer. My actually one of my nephew golfed in high school. Yeah, it's we have a little bit of a golfing family. But I never really got into it. A little bit here and there. Like I would grab some irons and chip into laundry hampers and baskets, stuff like that. And I've been to driving ranges a couple times, but yeah, man, I could maybe do it out here. That'd be fun. I don't think cost is a big deal here. There are some country clubs that are expensive. I know Cebu had one that was super expensive. But yeah, there are some clubs out. There's some courses out here. Vince, hope you can join our next ride here in our locality, Butuan, August del Norte. Yeah. Oh yeah, Vince. I would love to, brother. Yeah, I'll do a ride, a group ride out here in Butuan. I'd love to get involved, honestly, in some motorcycle communities here in Butuan. Absolutely. Let me just check something here. Okay. Yeah, no, let me know, brother. You could shoot me an email. What is my email address? Chris at carefreechris.com, I think it is. Yeah, I think I've got my own domain. How about that, right? But yeah, or look me up on Facebook. You could also message my Carefree Chris Facebook Messenger. That works well too. But yeah, brother, I'd love to do some riding stuff. Absolutely. Young Fresh Prince, P1. One thing I've done is to keep my primary doctor, yeah, in NYU hospital since they offer virtual appointments. When I never need consultation, yep, I schedule a video visit and discuss. Very practical. Yeah, yeah, yeah. P2, he handles the medical side, and then I purchase whatever over-the-counter or locally available equivalent I need in the Philippines. For example, I once had, yeah, and sorry about the timeout. I think I put it in there. I got like a little bit of a timeout. That just keeps like people who are just, I've seen it in live streams. I think I might even had it in my own live stream where someone, types out a whole sentence, one word at a time, just to be whatever. So sorry about that. If you're looking to create multiple comments, it can be a little bit of a hassle. But yeah, anyways, he handles the medical side. Yep. Yeah. And he prescribed Crypo at New York, and I bought the medication in the Philippines instead. For sure. Yeah, no, that's very smart. That's very smart. Scott Smiley, you have a 400cc or larger to drive in the Philippines interstates per Philippines regulations. Yes, you have to have a 400cc or larger. Absolutely, Scott. And look, that only applies a very small part of the country, right? Let's pull it up on the map, and this time I'll actually have the map up. So if you look at the Philippines, right, here we are, this is the Philippines in here. That area you're talking about is right there. So just really tiny area. The rest of the country, there's no CC requirement. Well, there's no interstates, right? There's no highway where I live. So yeah, in the Manila area, you've got a little bit of you've got a 400 cc requirement on the interstates, but outside of this very small, I mean, it's city, it's a big region, but if you look at the whole country, it's a very small region that you have to actually worry about that CC requirement. So, and, you know, as we're saying, outside of that region, it may not make sense to get a bigger bike, right? They're just not very practical, but you're right. You're absolutely right. Let's see here. Yep. Just stopping by. Scott Smiley. Yeah, no worries, man. If you're still here, peace. Yep. And Young Fresh Global. Yeah, no, that makes sense. You know, keeping your coverage there, especially the way you have it set up. For me, I've been using the local hospital here. What's it called? Ace Medical, I think it is, for anything. We've been by a couple times now. Mary Rose had the chicken pox, so we went over there and got her kind of situated. I've done, actually, I think I'm about due. I've done blood work. I think it was in September. I got a full blood workup and did all that here. So yeah, I've just been using local hospitals and stuff like that here. Troy and Venus. Good day, Chris. Yeah, how's it going? Yes, my own Buntag. Honda Scrambler. Yeah. What are they making out there? Do they have a scrambler that they have? A small scrambler might be good. Yeah. Glenn Lynch. Isn't it a little funny? Yes, it is funny. Funny, funny, funny how? I amuse you. Albert Saps. Hey, Chris. You do like the Philippines more than Thailand, right? But why? Well, Albert, in all honesty, I've never been to Thailand. Now, would I want to go to Thailand at some point? Sure, why not, right? Yeah, but so I just don't have the best of comparisons as far as Philippines versus Thailand and that deal. I can tell you kind of what had me come to the Philippines. It really was the people and the scenery. I just and I and for I was a city guy in the United States, but I've kind of flipped that out here. I'm more of a country guy out here. I like the more rural areas of the Philippines. In the United States, I was more into the cities, and mainly that because of my profession and working in the IT industry. It's not like I can live in the middle of a cow pasture in the United States and be an IT professional, right? So, but out here, I like more of the rural area of the Philippines. So, um, yeah, the Philippines for me is a better fit because of the people, because of the language barrier. But yeah, so that's why I like it. You know, I can be anywhere in this country and communicate where people can understand me. Now they might be shy, might not want to talk to me, but I can ask people where's the bathroom, how can I get food, I can order off meals and that kind of deal. Now, in this day and age in technology, that's becoming less and less important. But yeah, I admittedly don't have a ton of experience in Thailand. Like I said, I can tell you why I like the Philippines for those reasons, but you know, I've never been to Thailand to really say. It was something when I was looking to kind of move to one or the other and not living in either one. So it was, you know, in my research and looking at that, and ultimately I got here and I love it here. I still love it here. I very much like it here. Would I like Thailand? You know, maybe, I don't know. Um, and I'll get out there someday, but I do love it out here. So I could, you know, answer how what I looked at when I was looking to move out here, Philippines versus Thailand, and then I can tell you what I love about Philippines. But for the most part, you know, I've never been to Thailand, so yeah. Let's see, Glenn, you go from being part of the majority to being a part of the minority. Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's an interesting way to think of it and look at it, right? And I don't know, right? I didn't feel like I was the majority or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, right? It's really interesting because I don't know how I want to say this, and I don't think I'm going to say this because I don't want to come across. It's a rabbit hole I don't want to go on, but I can tell you this. I feel I feel respected and admired just because of my race and gender out here. Like people are curious about me, you know, and yeah, it's different. It's very different. Um, and I love it. I love it. You know, I remember I talked about this once before when I was, and it was one of the, when I looked at just getting out of the US. You know, I applied for a management position in my company. I didn't get it, right? And it was like, all right, whatever. You know, I wasn't the right guy for the job. But it was interesting. I had worked for this company for 16 years. So I had been uh, really, you know, I know people. I know a lot of people. And I've, you know, I was this way with, this is who I am. So I'm this way with people. I'm very open. I'm very honest, very direct, and built relationships with people over almost 2 decades, right? So one of the hiring managers came back with me afterwards and said, Chris, you know, we're in a time and a day and age. He says, if you were a woman or if you weren't a white Christian male, you would have got the job like that. And that opened my eyes up to, wow, you know, it just, it was one of the factors that had me leave. It's like, you know, I come here and there, I felt like I was public enemy number one for being who I am. Here, I feel like, wow, this is, I feel privileged for who I am. For the, you know, it's just, it was so wild to kind of see. So again, I want to be careful going down that rabbit hole, right? But I do love the Philippines and who I get to be out here, you know, right? Who I get to be out here in this country, someone who's respected, someone who's admired, just showing up, right? Just showing up, someone who's, you know, respected and admired for their race and gender, and it's a 180 from where I come from, you know. It's really interesting, and it was I relate that conversation to like when I quit drinking alcohol. That was another 180 moment for me. It's like very eye-opening. It's like, wow. You know, when I quit drinking alcohol, I saw the world completely different. That was very eye-opening. It's like, holy crap. You know, North America's got a problem with alcohol, right? A lot of the world has a, that's the other thing too regarding alcohol in this country. It's not a drinking culture like the America's United States. So a bunch of guys commented on this. We'll go out to like an event or a community deal. You know, you'll go out to some of these barbecue places and you'll look around and you'll see not one person is drinking alcohol. Not one. It's just really wild. Now, is alcohol a problem here? And are there alcoholics here and people who have drinking problems? Absolutely. But it doesn't exist the same way as it does in the United States. It's more like people stay home, they're drinking that, you know, that kind of thing, right? It's really wild. Really wild. All right. I got down a little bit of a rabbit hole with that one. Yeah. Part of the minority and part of the majority. Yeah. Interesting. This feeling inside. Only reason I consider going to the Philippines is you. You look like you're so freaking happy and satisfied. Albert, check it out, brother. Just come for yourself. Come see. Come see what it is. Come see, man. But yeah, no, I am. But look, I also have a particular commitment for happiness. You know, one of the rules with Mary Rose is no BS, right? No drama. You know, I just don't have room for that in anyone that I hang out with on a normal basis. So some of that is, yes, the culture of being here, but a lot of that too is my own rules in life. Like I don't tolerate a lot of BS and drama. No, I just don't. It's like goodbye, go have a good life. Whether if you're a friend or, whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah, but come check it out, brother. All right. Young, fresh global traveler. And I bet your landlord isn't going to raise your rent like, yeah, every 12 months. Yeah, the same place in New York, New York. Yeah. No, I'm hoping anyways. I'm hoping that's how it goes. And I have a great landlord, great kid. He's a good guy. It's investment property for him and doesn't plan on living here. But, he's happy that we're here, obviously improving his property and taking care of it. So it's a good setup. Good setup for both of us. Yeah. I have a child with my wife, so it makes sense to buy land. And there you go. There you go, right there. And you can put the land in your kid's name, your wife's name, whatever, right? Yeah. No, there you go, brother. There you go. How about skydiving? Joe asks. Is there a place in Santa Fe, Philippines? I'm sure there's skydiving here, Joe. I don't know where that would be, but I'm sure it's here. Yeah, I have not come across any of that stuff, but I'm sure it's here, brother, if you really want to do that. West Highlands is a beautiful community, worth a trip to the golf course. Yeah, no, I'll check that out. We have been by there. We've got a friend actually who's building a home there. But we had been by there. I know of it. Yeah, no, I think there'll be some videos and stuff like that coming. David says, I think you'll be successful in creating a bike travel ebook for expats that want to explore. You're very knowledgeable of the bikes in Philippines travel. I appreciate that, David. Yeah, no, you're right. I think I will, actually. That's great advice. And you're right. I've documented a lot of it already, kind of traveling around and can come across. And that's kind of what I did professionally for 20 years, right? I help lawyers and paralegals and staff navigate IT stuff and the technologies around that in a way that was respectful and easy to digest, that wasn't confrontational. A lot of IT guys can be like, move, right? Remember the guy from, what's that, Jimmy Fallon from SNL? Move. Anyways, I might do that at some point. An ebook. That's a good idea, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Albert, oh wow, I didn't know you've never been to Thailand. Yeah, so you went to the Philippines and just stayed. Yeah, just stayed. Freaky. Most of my friends prefer Thai, but most of the reason is the food, not the people or the landscape. Absolutely, right? And that is one of the factors you want to look at. And the Philippines food isn't bad, but Albert, for us, we eat at home now. So we make our own meals. We do, we have got an air fryer. We do a lot of chicken in the air fryer, potatoes and carrots, and we've got a crock pot. So we cook a lot of our own types of food, right? And you'll probably get to that place also. But you're right. As a single guy traveling around, food will be a big factor, But as a, kind of me where I'm at now and home stuff, and you do a lot at home, and we eat at home, you know, 6 days out of 7. We don't go out to eat much anymore at all. So the food isn't really a factor, as it is, as a single guy, just kind of, whatever, eating out all the time. But you're right. When's the last time you've been in North America and seen a Filipino restaurant? They're not known for their cuisine, unlike Thai, where crap, every couple miles you got a Thai restaurant, right? No, so you're right on there. But the food isn't, especially if you're just kind of doing your own thing, the food isn't really an issue. If you cook for yourself, if you're doing your own deal, you can get fresh fruits and vegetables and go to these markets, man. That's a video I'll be shooting here real soon, man. We just went to the market out here, massive, about the size of a football field, with fresh veggies and corns and potatoes. And so you can get fresh food as possible, So, but you're right. If you're looking to eat out 3 meals a day, and, the Thai food is where it is, So, but yeah, I hadn't been to Thailand yet. I got here and started exploring here, started getting my setup here. And then once I got my motorcycle, I was just like, let's just go ride. Let's go ride and explore. And that's kind of been what the past couple of years have been. This year, just because I did go quite a bit over budget last year, I think, like I said, I spent like 50,000 last year. This year we're gonna watch that a little bit and not travel so much. But yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I hadn't been there yet, but it was like I said, I can answer that Philippines versus Thailand standpoint from where you're at. My initial inquiry is like, where do I want to go? And I can answer that from here's what I love about this country, right? And given that this is a conversation I have quite a bit, my my experience with what other people say and that kind of deal, right? Oh no, almost forgot. I checked your language tool. Good stuff. The only thing is hit is pronunciation of the words. Let Mary Rose check this. Yeah, we'll pick that up a little bit. There were some bugs with the language app where when you go to take the test too, that it didn't go through. But honestly, it's a big jump from what I had, and it's a complete 180 from well, whatever. It's very different from what I had before. So yeah, I am planning on kind of pick that up a little bit. Lately, we've been focusing on the house. We're painting now. We got doors coming. We replaced some windows, but some of those projects will die down where I'll have a little more opportunity to kind of work back on the language app. So we'll look at that. Well, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the live stream now. We got 2 hours and 21 minutes. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think this has been a good live stream. We've kind of dove into a lot of topics, a lot of new people here, a lot of people who've been here for a while. So I just appreciate everyone here at this live stream. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate the conversation. It presents it for me, like why I'm here, what am I doing, that kind of whole deal. So I appreciate it, right? It kind of, like I said, I get reacquainted with what has me here, and what I'm up to. So thank you for that. Appreciate the conversation. With that said, being IO and feed that good wolf, guys. Seriously, it's not just something I say at the end of my videos. It's something I really believe. Feed that positivity. Just have a good life. All of us. Have a good life, right? Let's be happy. Let's be healthy. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.